Hi everyone, and welcome to the Snow Show. My name is Sean, and I'll be taking you on a wintry adventure. But first I want to ask, what do you do when it gets cold outside? Probably either stay inside or bundle up in many layers. But what do you think animals do when it gets cold out? Some animals hibernate, some migrate, and some stay active and thrive in the wintry conditions. Come with me and we'll see what certain animals we can find and what they do when it gets cold out.
Let's go check out some polar bears.
Polar bear is the most modern of the 8 species of bear, having evolved from the grizzly bear only 200,000 years ago. Male polar bears can weigh up to 1,200 pounds. That's about the same weight as a cow. Female adult polar bears are about half that weight. How old do you think polar bears live in the wild? 5 to 10 years? 10 to 15 years? Or 15 to 20? The answer is 15 to 20. And they can live twice as old when they're in captivity than in the wild. How do polar bears stay warm in these areas when it can get 50 below zero? They're able to stay warm because they have 2 layers of fur. The first layer has a glossy waterproof guard hair to keep the water off. The second layer is thick underfur. And underneath the thick underfur, they have a thick 2 to 4 inch layer of fat. Now one more question. Do polar bears hibernate? Yes or no? Trick question. True hibernators experience a drop in heart rate and body temperature and stay in a den for a long period. Polar bears instead actually enter a walking hibernation where the metabolism slows. Only pregnant females enter dens to give birth where they stay until the cubs are big enough to walk. This means a mom can go 5 months without leaving the den and without eating. That's a pretty cool animal.
Now we're on our way to Tamarack Wildlife Rehabilitation Center with Carol, Casey, and Kathleen.
Tamarack Wildlife Rehabilitation and Education Center is a wildlife rehab center, so we treat injured, orphaned, and sick wildlife with specialty in birds of prey, including owls, hawks, eagles, vultures. Some of our species have headed south for the winter, so turkey vultures, broad-winged hawks. Some of our smaller species will move south to warmer areas. Some of them will really head far south into Central America or further. So we are left with our year-round residents such as great horned owls, barred owls, screech owls, red-tailed hawks, Cooper's hawks, sharp-shinned hawks. Those are our primary eagles, bald eagles, our primary residents for the winter.
Let's check out some peregrine falcons.
Peregrines in the wintertime they can live around here, but they do better in warmer temperatures. So some peregrines, they're different subspecies. Some peregrines, the Arctic peregrines, spend the summers in the Arctic, and then they migrate all the way to the tip of South America for our winter time. So they can have one of the longest migrations in the world. So if he does that head gesture, then he's calmer if we reciprocate.
Sometimes he turns his head side to side too.
Join me as we check out the turkey vulture with Casey.
This is turkey, which I'm going to be feeding to the turkey vulture. And I think it's important to know that birds of prey do eat meat and they do eat other animals. So I'm going to feed the turkey vulture. Turkey vultures have such a wide variety of foods that they will eat, and they're actually one of the only birds of prey that have a sense of smell, so they can actually locate their food. And a lot of people consider these birds kind of disgusting because one of their defense mechanisms is to vomit to scare off other predators because of the smell. And they're actually really, really intelligent birds, so it's kind of unfortunate that they have that reputation, even though that is one of their characteristics.
Now let's go check out an eastern screech owl.
Okay, so this is Jasper, and he's a eastern screech owl. And you can see from his color that he's what's called a red phase, and they come in 3 different colors. There's the red phase, the gray phase, and a brown. And so he came into the center in the springtime whenever he was hit by a car, and you can see that he's missing an eye. And what happened was the eye had to be removed, and then he also lost hearing in the ear on that side as well, so he was unable to be released because he can't hunt good enough to be released into the wild. These owls are out throughout the seasons, so they're really active in the winter time as well, and they're actually really common.
Now come with me as we check out northwestern PA.
So we're here in northwestern Pennsylvania, and we're kind of looking around to find some animals, whether they're tracked, or trying to see where the animals go and what they do as they're just running around. Hey everyone, let's go follow these squirrel tracks and see where they go. I have a question for you guys. Do rabbits hibernate in the winter? No! Usually in the spring, they eat different wildflowers, clover, and crops from your garden or farms or whatever. And then in the winter, they usually shift to eating buds, tree bark, and even pine needles from this pine tree, which we can see down here. Rabbit tracks have 4 toes for each print, and you can see that right here. And the hind legs land in front of the rabbit tracks.
Thanks for joining me on the snow show. Tune in next week when we explore the Arctic tundra.